Ugh. Oh crap. Today, we're gonna be taking a look at another gun safe. This one's gonna be the Smart Safe from Vaultek. It's called the Vaultek Pro MXI. If you look down in the description of this video, the very first link, and you'll be able to find all the products and the coupon codes and the tutorials for everything. This thing is, I believe, 15 inches tall. It's about 11.5 inches wide and 11.5 inches in depth. They're very smart safes. They use fingerprint readers. They use the keypad. They have an actual laser cut key that you can use. They have an app you can download and put on your phone. And then you can control things like the sound, the alarms that you just heard, and you can also control like the LED lighting inside. But something that's new to this one that wasn't included with the handgun safe is it now has a key fob, kind of like what we would have on our cars. And you can actually use this. I'm gonna try to do this. I know you can't really see it, but so there we go. You can see the door opening right there. You can open it like that. Or there's an app which talks about the battery level. It tells you if anyone's been tampering with this. You can also, turn the sound on or off. So did you hear that? It also has your fingerprints. You can delete fingerprints from it. This safe holds up to 20 unique sets of fingerprints, so that's legit. You can have an administrator set, and then you can have people under you so they can't change settings, but only you can change settings. Things like that. You can also set this to where you have to use a fingerprint and enter a code in order to get inside. That way, if someone, I guess, killed you and wants to use your finger or cut your finger off, I don't know why you would do that, but that way you can have it set to where someone would need both the code and a fingerprint to get inside. We also have what's called the impact sensitivity, which is what you heard when I picked it up. So basically, if I hit this, see what I mean? And then you can use your code to deactivate it, or you can use your fingerprint right there. Very good safe. This thing is very large, actually kind of heavy. It weighs 32 pounds and the internal dimensions are 13 inches by 11 inches by 8 inches in height, which is awesome. Now, one thing that I really just love about this is it's very modular on the interior. On the interior, you have a shelf that pulls out, and with that shelf, you can actually take it out and you can put it towards the top, you can put it towards the bottom, you can put it wherever you want to. And then when you buy the safe, it actually comes with one pistol rack. I got an additional pistol rack as well as a magazine rack. That way we can configure it to a bunch of different ways. And it will hold up to 8 handguns at once, with 8 being on the bottom and 2 being on the top shelf, which that's awesome. Currently I have it configured with 4 handguns on the bottom, and then you got your mags in the middle. And then I was actually able to fit like almost 4 handguns on the top, but that included 2 Glock 26s. So where the lines meet the safe, it looks like there might be a little gap there. However, on the inside of the safe, it's actually been designed for anti-pry bars, things of that nature. But then again, it's not gonna stop someone from just picking it up and running off with it, but it does have an alarm. So to power this up, we have a single 18650 battery. Vaultek claims that one battery on one charge will get you 3 months of use. There is a USB port on the side. I believe it's a micro USB. So if you wanted to tuck this somewhere, like these cabinets back here, I've kind of had it living into these cabinets, and then I can shut the doors. If you wanted to just not have to worry about charging it, you could run a really long cable from the micro USB, down to the wall to plug it into the wall, and you could have it on at all times. However, I picked up this additional little power pack right here. And this is a really cool option. Basically, you just charge this little guy up and then plug it into the side. And what's cool about it is it's magnetic and sticks to the side of the safe. That way you can just leave it plugged in. What I really like about it is it has a little button on the top, and you can check the battery life at any point in time. Vaultek claims that this battery pack will add 4 to 6 months of battery life to it. So with the 3 months that you get off of the 18650 plus this, let's just take the lower number, the 4-month mark, because it says depending on the model, you could get 7 months off of one charge, which that's pretty awesome considering the smallness of the battery and how little this safe is. So let's talk about operating it a little bit. I'm not going to talk to you about setting it up because it's super easy, and Vaultek includes all the instructions you need to get it all set up. That's really awesome. It's very easy to follow. If you know how to run an iPhone, you can set this up. The little LED screen on the top, it shows the model, it shows your battery life, shows the status, shows Bluetooth, all kinds of stuff, shows the sound is turned off, brightness is being controlled, all kinds of cool little stuff. Has proximity sensors, so when your hand comes close to it, it does illuminate. You can see all the buttons and you can open it in very low light situations, which that's amazing. The one thing that I just love about this is the additional little trays that just pop in and out. You can get those, like I said, you get an additional pistol rack, you can get the magazine rack, and then you can really just go to town on putting a bunch of guns and magazines in here. You could even take the shelf out, lower it down a little bit, and you could put your pistol racks or your magazine rack on there. And now, instead of having to reach in to grab it, you could just pull the little tray out, which is beautifully done. What else is cool is, you know, you have a little timer on the interior light and you can set how long that lasts, you know, in the app. Well, the cool thing is you do go into your safe and you want that light to stay on just a little bit longer. There's a little button underneath and you can just touch that button and it will make it stay on for a little bit longer. Safes aren't going to keep everybody out. This is just a way to buy time for you, because time is the ultimate enemy of someone trying not to get to your stuff. However, for me personally, I just get safes to keep my kid out of it. I don't ever want my son to just grab a gun without me ever knowing about it. And so having a place to put them that he can't open is super nice, especially if I never give him the fingerprints to it. That way, I just never have to worry about that until the time is ready and we can get him, you know, when he's older, handling guns, things of that nature. So now that we've talked about all the tech specs of it, let's talk about what my opinions are of it. So I've had the original VTI 20 for almost going on 2 years now, and it has held up like a tank. I haven't even had to charge it since I got it a year and a half ago. I actually keep that in my nightstand where I can put my wife's gun on her side, because my son has been getting where he wants to open drawers lately. And so for her side of the bed, I've been using it over there because he's always on her side of the bed when he comes in the room. On my side of the bed, there's no gun in my nightstand until I actually lay down to go to sleep. So that has been super handy on the VTI 20. It has worked great, worked flawlessly. The downside to that was you were so limited on what you could do. You know, if you had a compensator on your Glock, or if you had extended magazines, or if you had RMRs, it would, the space would get a little bit tight. And then since that point in time, Vaultek did come out with a bigger version of it, but this is something that I really need because I got a lot of handguns and I need a place to store all those handguns. This safe is getting full. After we move here in the next couple of weeks, I'm actually probably going to get a Liberty safe in addition to that one, because I'm just running out of rifle room in that one. Space is definitely a huge thing. So ever since I got this, I've been keeping it right here in my shelf, and it fits in there perfectly. You can see how nicely it tucks into the shelf, which is awesome. Then I can just shut the doors, nice and flush. But if you just pull it up to here, you know, you can just walk up, you know, it opens up right here, and then you can just reach inside and grab your gun. So we know the quality's there. Now let's talk about the price. Let's talk about if I think it's worth the money. And if it was my money, would it be something that I would actually purchase? Because one thing I take very seriously on this channel is I don't care if a company sends me a free product. It doesn't guarantee a good review if the product, you know, doesn't function the way that they say it will, or the way that I expected it to based on the way they marketed the product. I will say this, it functions 100% the way that they say it will. I've had zero issues with it, zero issues setting it up. And so I think it's worth the $499 price tag that they're asking for it. Now, one little caveat about this, it comes with one pistol rack. So basically, if you want the upgrades, if you want an additional pistol rack or the magazine rack, those are $35 each. And then if you want the additional power pack that gives it the extra 4 to 7 months of battery life, that's an additional $40. So in essence, you're spending approximately an additional $110 to get all the extra goodies, which comes out to around $610. This is not gonna be for the person that just wants a locker to put everything in. This is gonna be for somebody who likes smartphones and likes technology and wants to be able to check the status of their safe from their phone. You also get 5 different ways that you can access the safe, which is awesome. So the technology is there, and like you heard, it has an alarm feature, which I think is funny as crap. So it has the really good innovation. You know, it's made very ruggedly, which is awesome. And then, you know, it's also very user-friendly. So if you're someone who's kind of new to technology, you know, maybe you have a smartphone, but you don't really know what you're doing with it, the instructions are laid out super simple. That way anyone can understand it. So that's a huge pro. So now let's talk about the cons. One of the cons could be the price, you know, like I mentioned earlier. You know, as far as the way that it works, I'm having a really hard time finding a con about it. You know, and I've really been looking for one. I've had it for like almost a month and a half or 2 months, something like that. And it's done every single thing that Vaultek claims it will do. and then some. So it's super easy to use, super easy to open. It's very handy to have. One con though, I mean, honestly, I don't understand the point of a key fob because everyone has a smartphone anyway. But I mean, I guess it's nice. I'm still trying to figure out the why behind the remote. So let me know down in the comments section below what you think about the Vaultex MX series safe. I think it's a win, but maybe you have a differing opinion. And if you do, I'd love to hear it. So if you like this video, just go ahead and smash the like button. Do whatever you got to do. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And until next time, I love you and you guys stay sexy.